Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. The Calder Memorial Trophy is awarded every year to the player deemed the most proficient during his first season in the National Hockey League. From Hall of Fame players such as Bobby Orr, Mario Lemieux and Martin Brodeur, to the current superstars of the league, such as Patrick Kane, Evgeny Malkin and Nathan McKinnon, there has been a fair share of talented hockey players to get their hands on this piece of silverware. Most players are either in their teens or early to mid-20s when they win the trophy. But one player managed to buck this trend in a big way. This is the story of Sergei Makarov, the oldest NHL Rookie of the Year. In order to tell this tale, allow me to take you back to June 8th, 1983, when the Calgary Flames, who held the 231st pick of the entry draft, selected 25-year-old Soviet forward Sergei Makarov with their final selection of the draft in the 12th round. Despite being several years older than most of his draft cohort, Makarov had already built up quite the resume for himself. Domestically, Makarov had scored 335 points in 260 games over 7 seasons, primarily with CSKA Moscow, whilst internationally, the Soviet forward had already won 2 gold medals at the World Junior Championships, 5 gold medals at the World Championships, a Canada Cup, and a silver medal at the 1980 Winter Olympics in Lake Placid. Given his monstrous numbers and plethora of championship medals, you would think that Makarov would either already be a star in the NHL or be a top pick in the draft. However, due to the rough relationship between the Soviet Union and North America during the 80s, the USSR were reluctant to let their players move overseas to play in the NHL, and instead kept them at home to play in Russia and create the most dominant hockey program in the world. Despite this setback, NHL teams would often use their picks late in the draft to select Soviet players, on the off chance that if the USSR would let those players play in the NHL, the team that drafted them would own the contract rights of some of the best players outside of North America and arguably in the world. After being drafted by the Flames, Makarov would continue to play in the Soviet League with CSKA Moscow for the next 6 seasons and score 375 points in 259 games, whilst also picking up 2 Olympic gold medals, 2 World Championship gold medals, a 2nd and 3rd place finish at the Canada Cup, and a silver and bronze medal at the World Championships with the Soviet national team. Then, in 1989, after years of the USSR forbidding their players to leave their homeland, the Soviet Union finally gave Makarov, as well as several of its other top hockey players like Igor Larionov, Vyacheslav Fetisov, and Vladimir Krutov, permission to leave and join the NHL. Makarov immediately took this opportunity to move over to North America and join the Calgary Flames, the team that drafted him 6 years ago. Unknown to everyone, Makarov would play his part in changing the National Hockey League forever. Sergei Makarov took to the ice in the NHL for the very first time during the 1989-1990 season, where he made an instant impact on the Calgary Flames roster, since he finished the season with an impressive 24 goals and 62 assists for 86 points in 80 games. Though the Calgary Flames would be eliminated in the first round of the playoffs in 6 games by the Los Angeles Kings after winning the Stanley Cup the year prior, Makarov would get his hands on some individual silverware, as his over a point per game performance won him the Calder Memorial Trophy for Rookie of the Year. In doing so, Makarov became the oldest player to ever receive the trophy at 31 years old, beating out Detroit Red Wings forward Jim McFadden, who had previously won the trophy in 1948 at the age of 27. However, Makarov winning this award certainly raised a few eyebrows. Since Makarov was 31 years old at the time he received this award, and since he had previously had a lengthy professional career in the Soviet Union and internationally before moving to the NHL, there was some dispute as to whether Makarov could or should be considered a rookie. On the one hand, he is much older than any previous winner of the award, but on the other hand, the trophy goes to the most proficient player in their first year in the league. And since it was Makarov's first year in the league, he was technically eligible to be considered Rookie of the Year. Instead of causing an uproar by challenging Makarov's trophy win, the National Hockey League instead decided to change the rules of eligibility for the Calder Trophy moving forwards. From the following season onwards, no player older than 26 years old on September 15th of that year would be eligible for the Rookie of the Year trophy, meaning the award shall go to somebody younger and less likely to have already had a lengthy professional career, thus making the winner a more stereotypical rookie. The rule has since been informally referred to as the Makarov rule, due to the circumstances in which it was created. After winning the Calder Trophy, Sergei Makarov went on to play parts of 7 seasons in the NHL, split between the Flames, the San Jose Sharks, and a brief stint with the Dallas Stars, where he scored a grand total of 134 goals and 250 assists for 384 points in 424 NHL games. Though he likely never intended to change the league's rulebook, Sergei Makarov's impressive debut season in the National Hockey League played its part in refining the rules of one of the league's most coveted trophies. Not that many players debuting over 26 years old would have much of a chance of winning the trophy nowadays, considering each team's roster seems to get younger by the day. And that was the story of the oldest NHL Rookie of the Year. What do you think about Sergei Makarov winning the award, or his career as a whole? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear what you guys think. But thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you have enjoyed. Please feel free to like, subscribe, share, or watch some of my other videos. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye. A big thank you to Andy, Chris Gadsby, Connor B, Dave, David, Martin Tolness, Matt DeWild, Max Artis, Nat Marlowe, and The Legacy, as well as a huge thank you to Cam Montgomery and Ryan Todd for helping support this video via Patreon. If you too want to help support the channel a little bit further and get a shout out at the end of every future video, make sure you head over to patreon.com/oddmanrush and become a patron today.